Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. In this module, we shall be discussing about geological time scale and geological processes. You know that geological time scale is very important, particularly where we are interested in the age and different processes and evolution of life on this planet. The learning objectives of this module are, basically there are two components of this module. One is geological time scale and second one is the geological processes. In the geological time scale, we will try to know that why do we need a geological time scale and how the geological time scale evolved. And we will also try to understand the modern geological time scale and the basis of its divisions. And under geological processes, we will try to understand different geological processes and their role in understanding earth concept of geological processes vis-a-vis geological time scale, internal and external geological processes. Now, a question arises that why we need a geological time scale. Basically, the objective of geological time scale is fixing a complex jigsaw puzzle. Well, you all know that earth is complex. However, there are trends even in that complexity. Making sense of those trends for the entire earth implies comparison with each other and with certain common elements that apply to every part of the earth. Basically, geological time scale is an attempt to create a common language for understanding age, processes and life on earth and in short its evolution. A number of attempts have been made for geological time scale. Let me see some of the attempts that have been made in the past. From 6,000 years by Archbishop James Ussher in Genesis. This is given in Annals of the World AD 1658 AD. Charles Darwin has given geological time scale from several hundred million years on the basis of his work on natural selection. Similarly, Lord Kelvin that is younger than Darwin's suggestion on the basis of his work on thermodynamics and Earth's gradient. Then Claire Patterson has given geological time scale from 4.55 billion years, and this scale has been given on the basis of his work on geochronology. Let us see different division of geological time scale. These divisions of geological time scale are called as eons. We have four major eons. One of them is Phanerozoic, second is Proterozoic, third one is Archean eon and fourth one is Hadean eon. Now, we will be discussing each of them in detail. This Phanerozoic eon is from 541 million year ago to now. This Phanerozoic eon is further subdivided into Paleozoic, Mesozoic and Cenozoic eras. It means visible life. Boundary events related to this we will be discussing later on. Proterozoic era is from 2500 to 541 million year ago. This is also divided further into three sub eras. These are Paleoproterozoic, this is from 2500 to 1600 million year ago. Then Mesoproterozoic era, this is from 1600 to 1000 million year ago, and Neoproterozoic era, this is from 1000 to 541 million year ago. Proterozoic is a Greek word and it means early life. Now, third eon is Archean eon and the period of Archean eon is 4000 to 2500 million year ago. The literal meaning of Archean is beginning. At one point was considered oldest rocks. It is further divided into 4 sub-eras, and these 4 sub-eras are Coracean, Paleoracean, Mesoracean and Neoracean. Then Haydn Eon is from 4600 to 4000 million year ago. No records of rocks, 600 million years of no rock records are available. So, let me brief this classification again. Basically, geological time scale is having eons. There are 4 major eons, and then eons are further divided into eras, and each eon is having its own time period that we have discussed in this slide. Now, let me come to the geological processes. Geological processes and their role in understanding the earth, that we will be discussing, and then we will also be discussing concept of geological processes vis-a-vis geological time scale, and we will also be discussing internal and external geological processes. For this, we have to understand the principle of uniformitarianism. The geological processes which we see in action on earth today have analogy to the geological processes which operated throughout the geological past. This important concept is known as principle of uniformitarianism and was given by geologist James Hutton. Charles Lyell, a British geologist, gave the famous punchline, "The present is the key to the past." The present earth is an outcome of the past geological processes which operated on multiple time scale since 4.56 billion years, and this time scale we have discussed just now. The temporal variation is on a large to small scale, that is millions of years to few years to a fraction of seconds. These geological processes are still operative and will continue to operate in future as well. Thus, the face of earth is ever changing and evolving vis-a-vis the geological time scale. Geoscientists have built up an understanding of the present earth and how it has been shaped up and evolved through geological time. Now, let me discuss geological processes. Geological processes can occur in a matter of second. The example of the geological processes which take place in seconds are volcanic eruptions, example Colima volcano, then earthquakes, example is ring of fire. So, some of the geological processes can take place in a seconds or fraction of seconds. The time span of human life, means the geological processes which take place in the time span of human lives, that is few years. The example of this is movement of plates, for example rising of Himalaya up to 5 mm every year. Another example is migration of sand dunes. Then there are some geological processes which take place in millions of years. The examples of those processes are plate tectonics, that is assembling and breaking up of supercontinents, and its examples are formation of Himalayas, formation of sedimentary rocks. So, in the nutshell, I will again repeat that geological processes can take place in a fraction of second, they may take place in years or they may take place in millions of years. The processes which can take place in fraction of second, that include eruption of a volcano, earthquake, those can take in millions, that is we have given one example of Himalayas, and then third which take place in million of years, we have given example of that as the formation of Himalayas, etc. Then internal processes can be driven by the internal heat engines and external processes are driven by solar energy. Now, the question arises, what are the sources of heat for internal processes? There are two principal sources of heat responsible for the internal geological processes, and these sources are, first one is primordial heat. This primordial heat has been escaping the earth since its inception. You know, primordial means the things which are present on the earth since the earth has formed, and this is resulting from the collision of the planetesimals and the later accretion and gravitational differentiation, which lead to three distinct layers of earth, namely crust, mantle and core. Then radioactive elements are the another source of heat, means internal source of heat. The heat generated by decay of radioactive elements contribute significantly to the earth's internal heat engine. The internal heat is responsible for generation of melts and convection currents in the mantle, which are important in terms of large scale magmatism and plate motions. Then what is geothermal gradient? Geothermal gradient is the variation in temperature with depth, and this is an indicator of the earth's internal heat. The average geothermal gradient on the continent is 30 degrees Celsius per kilometer. So, this variation in temperature is due to the presence of different internal sources of heat in the earth. The geothermal gradient varies from active volcano areas to mid oceanic ridges to subduction zones. Now, what are the sources of heat for external processes? We know that solar energy is the most important source of heat for all external geological processes operating on the earth surface. The solar energy creates variations in temperature and pressure in the atmosphere that generates wind, including the monsoon. These processes also complete the hydrological cycle, wherein the water changes its domain and forms. From the oceans, rivers, lakes and even glaciers, it gets evaporated and is reintroduced into the earth system through various forms of precipitations such as rain and snow. The activity by rain, wind, snow, glaciers, rivers and oceans promote geological processes on the earth surface. These geological processes manifest on the surface in the form of volcanoes, earthquakes, drifting, movement of the lithospheric plates, formation of supercontinents and their dispersal, sedimentary rocks or deposits, etc. To understand these geological processes, geologists track the information concealed in various rocks. There are limitations to the accumulation of this data because of the dynamic nature of the earth. It is not possible to retrieve all the records preserved in the rocks in the past, and records are obliterated due to withering and erosion of rocks and subduction of earlier rocks both in oceanic and continental environment. Almost all oceanic crust older than 180 million years has been subducted back into the mantle. To understand the geological story of earth, it is important to have an understanding of the pace of these processes and their driving mechanism. So, now to summarize this module, we have learned what is geological time scale, what are different eons, means what are different divisions and subdivisions of geological time scale, and what is the importance of geological time scale. We have also learned about different geological processes. We learned that geological processes can take place in seconds, in years as well as in millions of years, means they operate at all rates in the nature. And we have also learned about different sources of heat, internal sources as well as external sources which are existing on the earth. Thank you.